Welcome back to Rocket League. My name is Rhapsody. His name is Orbital Potato.
Hey man, how's it going?
Very well.
I feel we had a really philosophical episode last time. I mean, we talked about public healthcare. We talked about John Lennon.
We did.
The list just went on and on and on. You know, we talked about Dignitas, for God's sake. I mean,
yeah, my favorite Dota 2 team.
They don't only do Dota 2, okay, mate? They do other stuff. I think they do Hearthstone.
I think I only care about Dota 2.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I'm not certain if they have a Hearthstone team.
I heard them being mentioned in a stream about Hearthstone, so I'm just going to presume that I'm right.
Okay. I'll presume you are as well.
I mean, I feel that this is like what you do 90% of the time. You just hear something, and then suddenly, oh yeah, this is the way it is.
Oh yeah, no, I totally do that. I do this thing where I have a pretty good memory. So if I can remember the instance in which I've heard something, I'll just tie it together and go, yep, no, that is complete fact, and I'll convince myself of it. Like, walking past the... Like, for example, last episode, Brownlow Medal, I've heard that in passing while I was walking past someone watching a match cancelled.
Oh,
we
man,
won!
I would love to 2v1 him.
Easiest match of my life.
Of the day.
So we are currently on a streak of 1-0.
Yeah, actually.
Winners by forfeit.
I'm not sure that a match cancelled counts as a match won, but let's just say that from now on it does.
Yeah. It's okay. We're just padding stats.
Yeah, easy, man. Alright, let's do this. No, anyway, as you were saying, instances, psychological memory. Psychological memory? Yeah, whatever.
Whee! Oh, come on, D Zebra, you dick Zebra. Fucking blocking my score? I deserved that shit, and you took it away from me. Oh, you got that.
So yeah, as you were saying, you can tie instances of memory together.
Don't try and do that. Don't try and distract from the atrocity that was just committed. I've seen happier genocides. Yeah. What is going on here?
Jesus Christ. All right. So, my Dignitas idea of euthanizing old people surely cannot be as bad as happy genocides. Like, surely.
What?
Surely.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never said anything. What is this happy genocides idea that you've just come up with?
Oh, yeah, suddenly I'm the bad person for bringing up happy genocide. Yeah, screw me, eh?
I can't believe you would say something so undignified on this, the most polite and well-mannered series on YouTube.
Yeah, try and keep a straight face when you're saying that.
Yeah, we're right next to the co-optional podcast in terms of how polite and well-mannered we are.
Do you watch that? Are you a co-optional podcast fan?
Whenever there's like a person specifically, like a personality on it that I particularly enjoy, yes. Yeah. Like Jim Sterling, I watched his.
Yeah, me too. I watched a bit of it.
I really like Jim Sterling. Like, I understand, like, people hate him because, oh, he's got this smug personality, but that's literally his character. The whole point is that he's taking the piss out of games journalism for that reason. I mean, I just really like
I get that. See, I don't know. That's one of the weird things. Like, when I sat down and started doing this, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna play games and be me. But now it feels like it's turned into like a personality, and that's sort of how I feel actors must feel like. Does that make even the slightest bit of sense?
Yeah, ish. I mean, like, it's gonna be more akin to the people, like, actors who have to play a hyper version of themselves. Like, think like Louis C.K., Seinfeld, and Mark Maron on their respective shows. They have to play basically a enhanced version of themselves. So that's kind of what we have to do. Like, I don't speak at this volume in my everyday life. I don't tend to talk about genocide in my everyday life either. It's definitely got an element of that.
I feel enhanced personality sort of strikes the nail on the head there. I feel that that's probably a pretty accurate way of describing it.
I mean, like, you know,
Oh, well.
just clearly ignoring the people that act as someone they aren't, because that's not exactly a field worth talking about. Most people are just... yeah, most people are just doing it like... It's a version of me, sure, but there are certain things you have to play up when you're actually performing.
See, I don't even feel that I play up that much. I just sort of feel I've started to act differently. Like if that makes even the slightest bit of sense. Like I sound so
Okay.
pretentious right now, and I don't know. It's really really weird.
Okay, I don't know if I can entirely empathize with that, because I'm... Other than, like, specifically talking a little louder, a little faster, and focusing a little harder, the majority of this, I can go, yeah, no, that's definitely something that is emblematic of the way that I act generally.
Oh, that was a perfect setup, mate. That was
Yeah,
just
they did
beautiful.
it for me. I didn't do anything about that.
No, that was me. That was me. They missed it.
What?
That was me. I set that up for you.
Oh,
They
sorry, I
missed
thought
the
you were
ball.
saying that they set
Yeah,
that up
that's
for
right.
me.
No, you weren't even watching, were you? You can't even appreciate my.
No,
greatness.
I was reading a tweet from
Disgusting.
Jamie Sauce on Twitter.
Really? What's he saying?
It's... I can only see that it's addressed to both me and Lady Jade, so I'm assuming it probably has something to do with Guild Wars 2.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Guild
Oh,
Wars 2,
Wars
of
2, is
course, very recently opened into free-to-play, with very limited things you can do in it.
Is Guild Wars 2 a game that you are into?
Not at all, but it's a game that's Peak's into, so I may as
So
well
you'll
try
give it a
it.
shot.
Yeah, he's playing Hearthstone at the moment, so it's only fair.
Hearthstone. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, you are the Hearthstone king, I'd presume.
Yes, I'm royalty of the Hearthstone arena if we just completely ignore my performances, statistics, and skill.
So I remember a long time ago you stopped a series of Hearthstone that you were doing called like ranked Hearthstone, I think it was,
Yes.
when you played ladder. Is there any chance that you're gonna go back to that?
I mean, I've been playing ranked in my spare time recently, but it's definitely interesting post the release of a new expansion, because a lot of the decks, I'm like, shit, this isn't a deck I've ever seen before. But I had that feeling for maybe the first 10 games, and then it was like, oh, I'm starting to see the same decks again,
Yeah.
and again,
Yeah.
and again. And that's the one thing that, well, that's one of the many things that got really annoying about ranked. It was just like, oh, okay, I've now just got to rely on RNG to pull me out of a position against this sort of a deck or this sort of a deck. It's basically like rolling a bunch of different sets of differently weighted dice. Like if you're Control Warrior up against a Freeze Mage, for example, your dice are almost all sixes, and then there's just like one side with a 1, and you just have to roll those. Basically, don't draw horribly and you'll win that. However, if you're against like a Super Rush aggro deck, you need to draw the exact right cards in order to have a chance to win. And it feels a little bit to rock, paper, scissors with a huge element of RNG to be something that I really want to focus on.
Do you not feel that though with ranked, it's not about the actual battles that count. It's the understanding the undertones. It's understanding the meta, if you will. It's understanding what people are playing, how to counter it, and oh darn it, that was going to be a goal. It's going to be a goal.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you
I
not
get
think
what you're
that's what
saying.
ranked's about?
It feels a lot like for many ranked games that the game is won or lost in the deck selection phase before you've queued up against your opponent. Like, if you're playing something that is anti-meta, you need to queue up against something that is meta. If you queue up against something that is anti-meta as well, it's a coin flip, depending on how they built their deck. It's interesting, but at the same rate, with the amount of people that net deck their decks, you kind of find when the meta gets super strong in one direction, people just find a way to counter it, and then everyone jumps to that, and then people find a way to counter that, and everyone jumps to that. And unless you're investing an incredible amount of time to watch the meta as it grows very, very slowly and ranking all of your statistics and things like that all of the pro players like Trump and etc. would do, It's not really rewarding to try and play anti-meta.
And I suppose if you don't have 10 hours a day to stream, then the meta is constantly evolving, isn't it? So it could go through an iteration or two, or an iteration or two of counter metas before you even realize.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. So the answer is no. There is no chance of ranked play coming back.
The answer isn't no. The answer is we'll see, and it's always going to be we'll see for that because I like ranked. There are things to be said about ranked. I would probably consider much more highly doing a series where every season I get to rank 10 and then stop, right? But I just don't have the time investment to go to Legend, and at the moment, if you're not going to Legend, it doesn't really matter. There's those rank chests that they released, which mean the higher your rank, the better rewards you get. You basically get like an enhanced pack at the end of the season.
That was to try and make non-Legend players matter, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, pretty much. But it seems like a month worth of investment for a few golden cards is still a little low.
Wow, that was a great shot.
Thank you.
That was a really good shot. You gonna want to save it up? Oh no, you're just gonna be polite this time. Okay,
yeah, I'm a nice guy. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't have a bad dream this morning.
Oh yeah, you're passive aggressive because you're poor sleep or whatever.
Not because of poor sleep. It was a bad dream.
Oh, just a bad dream. Okay, so that's a completely different thing for you, presumably.
Oh yeah, I slept really well. I had a really good night of sleep, but then I woke up and I felt shitty. Not like exhausted shitty. Like I would describe bad sleep as when you feel like you haven't slept after you woke up, right?
Yeah.
You feel exhausted, basically. And I don't have that. I just had like a momentary lapse of God. Aw, that was a really shitty dream. Because there's always those like 5 seconds after you wake up from a dream where you're like, did that shit happen?
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I get you. I'm connecting with you right now.
Nice. I'm glad to hear it. There have been a lot of things that I've said over the course of our conversations where I'm like, okay, this is clearly a thing only I'm experiencing. And then you've gone, no, man, dude, I get the exact same thing. Like, one of them, and this is to pull the curtains back for a moment, one of them was related to if you don't go out and talk to people enough, you start to suck at LPing.
Really? Okay. Did we talk about this? I cannot remember talking about this.
I did mention it. God, I hope it's something that you stand by the discussion of. I was saying that... I
actually do, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that if you don't get out and, like, interact with people, it kind of completely gums up the works of your ability to talk and form coherent sentences and be an interesting person in general when talking to yourself.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that was very nice. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but yeah, thank you. It was great.
That kind of covers the goal that I scored against ourselves.
Yeah. No, you didn't. No. You're not gonna take the credit yourself, man. You know, it's a team effort. We win together, we lose together.
We scored that goal against ourselves.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. but yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you're actually right. You know, talking to people does give you, I think it gives you more confidence in your speech, more oh my, that was a clear shot on goal. What the heck am I doing? It gives you like more vocabulary to work with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense to me. The way that I usually find it is it's just I get so engaged in my own brain space that I don't really know how to talk to people that aren't me after I spend so much time with just me. And it becomes really disjointed from the way that actual humans speak. I'm passing it back to you.
that was not a pass.
Yes, it was.
That was lazy. That was lucky.
That was not lucky. That was skill right there. That was skill to pay the bills.
I think we were lucky that they weren't in a better position to capitalize on your skill, inverted commas.
Inverted commas. Look at this guy sassing me about my skill.
That's right.
Whoa, that was pretty bad for me.
Emotionally, or just like you were hit off course or whatever?
Oh, I was hit off course.
I suppose. Oh no. Okay.
Did I just hit you into the wall sideways?
Yeah. Hey, guess who got a clear ball for that? That's right.
Was
This
it?
guy.
Fuck. I'm sad about that now.
Yeah, I know you should be actually. I mean.
What? Oh, we're fucked.
Oh yeah. No. I think I probably helped him with that one. Actually.
Crazy for this one, Jim.
Ah.
You just knocked
Wow.
it straight past me.
Yeah, I tried. I tried, man. I tried.
I'm
As
glad
we
that you
previously
did.
Discussed. Trying in this life counts for nothing unless you can capitalize on it. Oh, epic save. That's right. It was kind of epic, wasn't it? That was not good. That's gonna go in the goal. Okay, it's not. Okay, okay, it's good. It's good. It's good.
That was a real good clear.
Oh man, man. I feel we've been living on borrowed time, you know, since we haven't managed.
Whoa,
to actually...
shit! What?
Oh no. No, no, no.
I'm not down with this shit.
Here we go. Great pass.
I'm
Give me a
not
great
okay with
pass.
anything that's happening right now. At least my controller hasn't disconnected, touchwood.
I mean, now that you've said it, it's almost it's gonna happen.
No,
man.
I said
It's
touch
gonna
wood,
happen.
so that stops it from happening.
Oh yeah, of course. An old wives' tale is clearly going to help you out when it comes to, you know, newfangled modern technology.
Yeah, exactly.
What am I to think otherwise?
I'm
You know
very
what? You know what I
glad that
think-
you've recognized this. Is it this shit?
No, no, no.
I can't believe it.
Uh.
I'm being beaten around the jaw with wet nipples, and I'm not enjoying it this time.
Look at them communicating in the chat. Nice shot, thanks. No problem. Screw you. Screw you both. It's always good to have some passive aggressiveness. Or maybe aggressive aggressiveness.
Fuck
Whatever
passive
suits.
aggressive. Go 110% heart and soul aggressive.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, no. Dang it.
Oh, he GG'd, actually. That's manners right there.
You don't know what was intended by that GG. That GG may have been meant maliciously. You don't know.
Oh, what could it have stood for if it wasn't good game? Could have been like, oh. Damn.
Gregarious Germans. Oh, those gregarious Germans.
Gregarious Germans.
Yeah.
What the heck?
That's what it stands for. Don't talk back to me. Have you ever done improv?
Like comedy improv?
Yeah.
Or just like... Yeah, I don't know what other type of improv there actually is, but no, I have not.
Okay. You might enjoy it.
Why?
It's fun. All of the kind of like improv exercises I really enjoy.
Have you done improv? I feel that's the
I've done some very small amount.
Uh-huh. And
But
were
most
you
of it
funny?
was dramatic rather than comedic.
Oh, okay. I'm with you now. I'm with you. So there is another type of improv.
Well, yeah, but
Oh, beautiful. This could work.
it
This could
wasn't
work
really-
so well.
oh my
It
god.
worked. It worked so well. Oh man. There we go. Thanks, man. Oh, okay. So you've done dramatic improv.
Like
What did that entail? Did that?
it was
give me
mostly
the-
like a new person being introduced into the scene needs to change the scene into an entirely new thing, and everyone needs to be able to pick up on it, not negate and block and stuff like that. It was really
watch out.
interesting.
You to be in defense right now.
I tried.
Yeah, it's that. You know, points for trying. Points for trying.
I
You're
almost
never gonna be a.
I almost got
You're
it
never-
as well. Hang on.
You're never gonna be in major league, but you know what? Points for trying.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, no, that's just fair enough, I suppose, isn't it? Anyway, sorry, tell us about your improv stories.
That was actually the end of the improv stories. I was just asking
okay.
whether or not you've done it because it's cool. And I was watching I think it was Conan, just the Conan clips on YouTube, which I'm so glad that they exist because they're actually pretty good.
Yeah. He's actually kind of underrated. I feel.
Conan.
Yeah.
I mean, really? He's very
I-
popular as far as I understand.
Well, you know, he lost the... There was this whole... He lost the Tonight Show.
Yep.
You know, because he took over from Jay Leno, then Jay Leno came back, and then he took it over. That was a great goal, by the way.
Thank you.
So he's not that popular, I guess.
Might just not
I
be
don't really know,
super
to be honest.
popular amongst industry folk because, I mean, he had
Good
The Late
point.
Show, and then he currently has, Conan O'Brien.
I don't really keep up with American television, to be honest. You seem to be very in the loop with American television.
I
Do you know
just-
who I do like?
Who?
You know who I do like? Trevor, the Trevor, is it Trevor Nelson?
Trevor
The guy that's
Nelson?
taken over from Jon Stewart?
No, Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah.
Yes.
Trevor Noah.
Holy shit,
He looks
this.
Amazing. That was a great goal. A long goal as
Trevor
well.
Noah is actually really, really good. I've watched all of his South African, specifically geographically located and usually revolving around content that is relevant mostly only to people in South Africa. All of his comedy specials for stuff like that. And it's excellent. The way that he sets up and executes a joke is really, 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 really good. And his personality and performance is just, I like it.
He really, oh my goodness.
God damn it.
That was going in for a long time. That's all right. He really sets it up and he just waits and he builds it and he builds it and he builds it and he builds it and he just doesn't stop building it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it's great. And
he
then
sells it.
he does. He really does. So I'm really, really excited. I think he's going to be way better than Jon Stewart. I didn't really like Jon Stewart.
Wow.
I'm not-
See, that's rough. That's rough to say. Jon Stewart was excellent. Like, the direction in... I mean, if you ever saw any of the Daily Show with Craig Kilborn before Jon Stewart took it over, you'd notice that it wasn't exactly the powerhouse of a show that it was at the time. And the reason it became so big was because of the way that Jon wanted to critique and satirize the system rather than just make snide jokes. And taking it in that entirely new direction is what made it so good and what made it a show that's, John Oliver, Steve Carell, Stephen Colbert, etc. could spin off and build sprawling careers out of.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy that whole, I don't want to say light political satire because it's not light political satire, but it's spawned a whole industry, hasn't it? I mean, it's huge now. Especially in America, but only in America. I mean, I suppose, do you have
we have some
political satire shows? I mean, you've got the Chaser, or is it Chaser?
The Chaser. So the Chaser is a very interesting one. The Chaser used to be a university newspaper column, and it was relatively harmless. But they kind of made it big when they were proving how shitty Australian security is by infiltrating a world conference that was being held in Australia. And they just did it while having someone in the car that was dressed as Osama bin Laden.
No way.
And they're surrounded by armed guards. Their badges even said, "This is not a real badge," on it. And they kind of made a joke of the security for that event. Because they got within, like, blocks of the building where all the world leaders were, with a guy dressed as Osama bin Laden in the car. And they actually had to stop themselves. They could have gone further as well, is the real problem. They had to go, look, this joke has gone way too far. We're probably going to get killed if we continue.
Yeah.
So they had some really good stuff on there, but at the same time, there was a lot of, like, super filler. And some of it just got really puerile and just bad. The gold was gold, and then the rest of it was trash.
Is it still a thing? I mean, is it still going?
Not really.
Or is it... No, okay. I mean, I remember seeing one where they spoke to Tony Abbott about debt levels and the fact that he bought a new house and he now had a higher debt to person ratio than the country did or something. I remember that one. And then they were like, Tony, how can you run a country if you can't even manage the debt to buy a house? That's a horrific Australian accent, obviously, but
that's
think
a
you
really
get
bad
the
one, yeah.
sentiments. Yeah.
I'll go on a limb and say that's racist.
Do you feel, ethnically offended right now? I mean, is that something that you're feeling?
I don't know. The feeling of being offended is a little foreign to me. The closest I've come to offended is... the closest that I've ever come to offended, and this is about to get super real, in conversation with you is the one time
Oh,
you
no.
asked me.
Yes. Yes.
Nice, very nice.
1 second.
Hang on.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Yeah, no,
nice
it's a
shot,
really
nice
important
shot, nice shot.
conversation.
That's actually really, really fucking good. Nice work.
Thanks, man.
Let's try and score another one. Yeah. Oh, dang it.
Ah, shame.
Are you MVP
Anyway, sorry,
for
you
this
were
one?
saying.
No, I'm MVP.
No. You were saying the closest you've ever come to being offended is
The closest, and this still didn't offend me, but it was the closest that you've ever come, was when you asked me.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know exactly.
So
what you're
you've
gonna
been
say.
playing Hearthstone Arena for a few years now. I don't want this to sound bad, but why aren't you better?
Genuinely, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, don't worry. It's fine.
It sounds so bad. Sounds horrific.
See, the thing is,
Sounds
I
like
totally
a
understand the reasoning behind it and the fact that the phrasing was kind of just unfortunate. I understand, like, the sentiment behind it is, have you noticed any improvement or something like that? Can you demonstrate improvement? That kind of thing. I understand the reasoning behind it, but the phrasing was just hilarious to me.
I know, yeah. I mean, and then you showed me this massive graph of Hearthstone Arena runs and whatever, and you've improved on average by what, 2.5 runs? 1.5 runs? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's
over the last like year or whatever. It's actually kind of impressive.
It's about 2 wins per run, better.
And oh, damn it. And that was what I sort of meant when I was like, oh yeah, what's the situation here? But that is noticeable progress.
See, it was actually relatively important that you asked that question, because it spurred me to actually note down my recent statistics, because I only had statistics my first 100 games, and I would argue that during my first 100 games, I had the entire time basically no fucking clue what I was doing. Whereas now I have some clue what I'm doing.
I mean, Hearthstone is one of those. Hearthstone Arena is one of those things where the deck building is the main part of it. I would say. I mean, is that fair to say?
I would say, yeah, that's completely fair to say.
Executions for like card stuff is pretty standard. There's pretty much always a good counter, or there's always the right thing to do. I mean, occasionally there's not, but the deck building is where it really matters, I suppose.
Yeah, because you can build a deck and then you can go, well, I've lost. I mean, before I queue up against anything, I know I'm not going to win. And then sometimes you can build a deck and just go, well, if I lose, it's going to be either horrible RNG or basically horrible execution on my part that does it, because this is a deck that is too good to beat, basically. Usually Paladin decks with a stupid amount of shielded mini-bots are the way that reveals itself in game.
Yeah. Paladin's quite strong in Arena, isn't it?
Ever since GVG, yeah.
Yeah. The Muster for Battle and the Shielded Minibot.
Yep.
Both coming in GVG, weren't they?
Coghammer as well.
I think... Oh yes, the what is that? That gives a divine shield.
3 mana, 2/3. Grants a random friendly minion, divine shield, and taunt.
Wow. I've heard it's bad etiquette to talk about other video games when you're playing video games on YouTube, but
it is.
Really gives a crap about that, eh?
Oh.
Jeez.
Should we go back to discussing the benefits of a social democracy over a capitalistic entirely based democracy?
Okay, good point. Yeah, video games much more exciting.
I think video games might be the way to go. We might be alienating our extreme conservative base.
Oh yeah, I know I've got quite a lot of conservative fans out there.
And you know what? It would make more sense for your channel to have them than for mine. Strategy games would probably be the thing that gets the conservative capitalists rock hard.
See, you joke about it, but
I'm not joking.
About I mean, I'm going back a little bit here, but a discussion about social democracy is actually something that interests me way more than like video games, but that's like by the by, and that's completely irrelevant to what we're doing right now. But okay, like here's a little thing. So I thought the other day, so I've really been liking good old Rhapsody's arena videos. I really like his videos in general. I was thinking about starting some Hearthstone, but then I thought that now for Hearthstone the barrier of entry is so high.
I could not agree more. Yeah.
I can't start. I should have started when it came out and when I was first giving it a couple of goes, but now I can't do anything about it.
Yep. No, I totally understand where you're coming from in that way. It's something that I think is actually going to stunt the growth of the game very significantly. Now that there's, 2 different expansions out, 2 different adventures, and the basic set, obviously.
Yeah. But see,
but now that all of that exists...
even the basic set of cards is still essential to gameplay. I mean, you've got Sylvanas, Ragnaros.
Yep.
You've got a lot of cards that are still used a lot, even in new decks.
Yep.
So,
completely true.
I really can't do anything about it.
The thing is, you need cards from so many different sources. Oh my god, that was a good goal. You need cards from so many different sources that it becomes really, really, really difficult as a person that doesn't want to invest, $300 or something like that, to get a competitive deck, or not a competitive deck, but a reasonable set of competitive cards. Because you can get a competitive deck on the cheap, but it means that you get to go, okay, I'm going to play Warlock and only Warlock, and I'm going to play Zoo and only Zoo.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Exactly. But to get a decent amount of cards, you're literally looking at spending £200.
Yep.
I would say, genuinely, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
for
absurd.
A free-to-play game,
and
that's ridiculous. I mean, it's great for. Sorry, go ahead.
There's no significant catch-up mechanism is the problem, right? A new player can't come in and then just go, oh cool, no, it's fine because I've got the ability to earn these things relatively quickly. No, you really don't. It's 10 gold for every 3 wins. Then you have daily quests that can be anywhere between 40 and 100 gold. It's 100 gold for a pack. I've opened upwards of 100... Well, shit. I've opened upwards of probably 400 packs. All from in-game gold or arenas.
And you've
I still don't...
most of them?
I have most of the competitive stuff from previous expansions. This expansion, I don't. I have to recraft things.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's been so much discussion about this recently because it's seen as the way that the game would die. If it's going to die from anything. I mean, it's pulling out in an incredible amount of money from the people that are already hooked on it. But you need new players.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like I can just jump in and say, hey, I'm going to have a great game of Hearthstone, because the only thing that I can really play is Arena.
Yep.
Realistically, that's the only thing I can do.
That's actually why my Arena series started long before my Rank series. It's because I needed to get cards, and the only way I could do it was playing Arena. But there was only the basic set and the expert card set, which is maybe you'd consider the first expansion, but it's just rarer cards. And it was really easy, even though I griped about it at the time. It was really relatively easy for me to play 50, 100 arenas and get enough dust and packs to make most of the good legendaries in the game. But at this point, you've got so many different diverse ones over so many different things. And then you've even got the the adventures, which is 700 gold a wing to buy.
Yeah. And how many? Six wings?
It depends on the
wings?
expansion. There's, I think there was 5 for the first and then 6 for the second, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, you're looking at $3.5 grand for the first one and $4 grand for the second. 4K of gold.
Yeah.
7.5K of gold for what? Kel'Thuzad's.
Sludge Belcher is the very important one out of that.
Sludge Belcher. Oh my god, I hate that card so much.
Yeah.
My Exna as well. Who else?
I used to date a spider, but She's my ex.
Oh,
No?
no.
No?
No.
I'm sorry about that. I'll tell you some more shitty puns when the episode has ended. My name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Rocket League. His name has been Orbital Potato. You'll be able to find a link to his channel in the description down below. There's also a playlist link down there if you're interested in watching more Rocket League at the moment. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and we will see you next time.